What is up, everybody? J.T'S here once again. I'm about to do my own March Madness predictions. Now, of course, these are my picks. They may be different from yours, and that's what I like about March Madness. It's unpredictability. And of course, this is maybe the only good thing that comes out of March, of course, when it comes to college basketball. And yes, and to let people know, I am a Duke Blue Devils fan, of course. I'm always with Coach K and the Cameron Crazies. So again, just to get that out of there, I am a Duke Blue Devils fan. And I thought of doing this because, my luck I thought doing brackets because it is March Madness, and this thing starts on Tuesday and Wednesday with the first four, and then Thursday and Friday with the round of 64. So in the first round. So I thought of doing this. So again, I don't watch a lot of college basketball as much as I used to, but I still do watch the tournament because the tournament is the best thing about. That's one of the best things about March. It's the March Madness tournament. Now, before I forget, I want to thank everybody who did watch my Ring of Honor 15th anniversary predictions. Of course, the New Japan Cup, and of course the Fast Lane and Elimination Chamber predictions. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, love the comments, saw the likes. Thank you so much. And again, we're at 126 subscribers, so again, thank you so much to the new subscribers who have subscribed to the channel. Welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I am, of course, J.T. Dangerously. And before I forget, March 27th, there's going to be 3 videos out for Supercard of Honor 11 for the Ring of Honor, NXT TakeOver Orlando, and of course the WrestleMania predictions. So again, keep your eyes peeled on those 3 videos on March 27th. All right. But let's get right started. Again, this may be a long video because it's a big bracket. So I'm going to start in the East region of the tournament. Of course, the #1 overall seed, of course, the Villanova Wildcats, who won the tournament who won the national championship last year. After that, amazing 3-point and the buzzer beater, which was amazing. And now they are the overall #1 team in the bracket. And they play the winner of Mount St. Mary's and New Orleans, which is one of the first 4. It's a 1-16 matchup, and usually if you watch the tournament as much as I do, no team has ever beaten a 1 seed at the 16th seed. So coming from me, I'm going to take Villanova to beat whoever they're playing on, Mount St. Mary's or New Orleans. So I'm taking Villanova. Now the next matchup, the 8-9 matchup, the Wisconsin Badgers against the Virginia Tech Hokies. Now, of course, Big Ten, ACCs. And of course, Wisconsin was in the, Big Ten final against Michigan on Sunday. So they got the #8 seed. And usually when it comes to tournaments, the 8-9 matchups are the toughest ones to pick. Because, as what they always say, it's a toss-up. 8-9 matchups are always a toss-up. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Wisconsin Badgers to beat the Virginia Tech Hokies in that matchup. Now the next matchup, of course, the Virginia Cavaliers against I think it was UNC. I can't remember the other. It's a very not a well-known team coming from me, but it's a 12-5 matchup, and you usually know when it comes to tournaments, 12-5s are upset cities sometimes. So coming from me, I am going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go for UNCW to beat the Cavaliers in this matchup, a 12 beating a 5. So, got UNCW to beat Virginia. And now the next matchup, the 4 against the 13 matchup. Of course, the #4 team, the Florida Gators, against the 13 seed East Tennessee State. Now, of course, this is in the first round. This match is in Orlando, Florida, so it's kind of a home game for Florida. So, coming from me, I'm going to take Florida in this matchup to beat East Tennessee State. And now the bottom bracket of the East. Of course, the #6 seed, the SMU Mustangs, playing against the winner of one of the first 4 on Tuesday and Wednesday is the Providence Friars against the USC Trojans. So in this matchup, I am going to take the SMU Mustangs in this matchup. I think they look like the better team, but again, usually those first 4 usually do a good job. So I'm going to take the SMU Mustangs to beat either Providence or USC. And now the next matchup, the 3 seed Baylor, the Baylor Bears, against the New Mexico State. New Mexico State. No, it's not the Aztecs. I don't think it's the Aztecs. I know the New Mexico Lobos, but the New Mexico State, I can't remember because I know them in the, I can't remember the name of their, New Mexico State, I can't remember. But coming from me, I am going to take the Baylor Bears to beat New Mexico State in this matchup. Makes sense. They're a very strong team in the Big 12. So I'm going to take Baylor to beat New Mexico State. Now the next matchup in the same East bracket. The number 7 seed South Carolina Gamecocks against the number 10 seed the Marquette Eagles. Of course, this one's going to be a good one. So I'm going to take South Carolina to beat Marquette. So I'm taking South Carolina to beat Marquette. And now the last matchup in the East bracket. My Duke Blue Devils, number 2 seed in this division. Of course, they could have been number 1, but that's a debate for later. Against, of course, the Troy Trojans. And you already know where I'm going to go with this. I am going to go with the Duke Blue Devils to win this matchup to move on to the second round. Now, I'm gonna go through the other brackets, and then we'll go into the second round, and like that. So we're going down to the West bracket, which, of course, the number 1 seed in the West bracket is the Gonzaga. Gonzaga, number 1 seed. I think they only lost 2 or 3 games this season, so they're a very strong number 1 seed. And of course, they are going to play, of course, the 1 against 16, the Gonzaga against South Dakota State, the Hawks of South Dakota State. Of course, you already know me. I'm not going to go 16-1. So I'm going to take the Zags to beat South Dakota State. Now the next 8-9 matchup in the West. The Northwestern Wildcats, of course, their first tournament since in school history. I think 70-some years. I was here in the Selection Sunday. First time in school history they're in the tournament. Of course, against the Vanderbilt Commonwealths. So this one's a really good, tough, again, those 8-9 matchups, if you know, toss-ups. So coming from me, what would be a better story to have Northwestern win a first game in the, in the tournament in school history. So I'm going to take Northwestern to beat Vanderbilt. Now the next matchup, of course, the number 5 seed, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish against the Princeton Tigers. Ivy against the Big East. Notre Dame looks really good. They're gonna be a threat against the Zags for sure in the West. So I'm gonna take the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to beat Princeton. Now the next matchup, the number 4 seed, the West Virginia Mountaineers against the Bucknell Bison. I'm taking Wildcats because I remember Bucknell in tournament history. This one I got West Virginia in this one. I just think West Virginia's a better team. So I'm gonna take West Virginia to beat Bucknell. Now the 5 seed, of course, is the Maryland Terrapins against the Xavier Knights. Of course, Xavier's been you can't have a tournament without saying Xavier. Always maybe first 4 in, first 4 out. They always find a way to get into this tournament. But coming from me, I am going to take the number 5 Terps to win this matchup. Now the next matchup, the 3 against the 14 seed. Of course, the Florida State Seminoles against Florida Gulf Coast. The most, I could say, Florida Gulf Coast was the darling thing. I think this last year or the year before. So again, selection committee kind of undervalued Florida Gulf Coast for what they have done, which is kind of one thing I was kind of shocked about. And they're a 14 seed against 3. So I'm going to go with the upset. I think Florida Gulf Coast can actually beat Florida State. Florida State's a great team, of course, in the ACC. But I'm going to take Florida Gulf Coast to beat Florida State in this West bracket, 14-3. Now the 7-10 matchup, of course, the St. Mary Gaels versus the VCU Rams. Of course, VCU, being a Duke fan, VCU is kind of... any Duke fan would know about VCU, so they're a great team. St. Mary's a good team. So coming from me, I am going to take the St. Mary Gaels. So I'm going to take St. Mary to beat VCU. And now the number 2 team in this West bracket, of course, the Arizona Wildcats out of the Pac-12 against North Dakota, the 15th seed. Coming from me, Arizona is other than Notre Dame, Arizona is the biggest threat the Zags have from getting to the Final Four. So I'm going to take Arizona to beat North Dakota. Now the Midwest bracket. Of course, the number 1 seed in the Midwest is the Kansas Jayhawks. Multiple-time Big 12 champions, conference champions, of course. And they'll play the winner of NC Central and UC Davis, which is one of the first 4 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, I'm not going to go against the 1 seed over. I'm not going to have a 16 beat a win. So I'm going to take Kansas to beat whoever wins that game. And now the 8-9 matchup. The Miami Hurricanes versus the Michigan State Spartans. Of course, Tom Izzo, Michigan State. I think they got upset last year against Middle Tennessee State, if I can remember. So coming from me, again, toss-up 8-9 matchups. I'm going to go with the Miami Hurricanes. Something's going to happen. So I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes to beat the Michigan State Spartans. Now the next matchup, the 5-12 matchup. The Iowa State Cyclones versus the Nevada Wolfpack. So, of course, Iowa State did win the Big 12. But I have heard they're hot. They're hot when they win the division. But when they get in the first round, they tank. And Nevada, of course, a lot of people are like, very good team. So coming from me, I got the 12-5 upset. I got the 12 upset. I got Nevada beating Iowa State in this matchup. So I got Nevada to upset Iowa State. And now the next matchup, of course, the number 4 seed Purdue Boilermakers against Vermont. I think the Vermont Commodores. Taking a wild guess because again I don't watch a lot of Vermont basketball. Of course, Big Ten, Purdue got a high seed, of course. So I'm going to take, no offense to Vermont, but I'm going to take the Purdue Boilermakers to beat Vermont. Now the 6-11 matchup, of course, the Creighton Jays against Rhode Island, the 11th seed. I would think everybody's sleeper pick, which I was watching on Selection Sunday, that Rhode Island is a sleeper pick because I think Creighton lost a star player on their team for the season, so they're injured. What a better chance to have an upset. So I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to go with the number 11 Rhode Island to beat Creighton. So I got Rhode Island to beat Creighton. And now the next matchup. The Oregon Ducks, of course, Pac-12 against the Iona. Of course, that's another team that lost a crucial player on their team with a torn ACL. So they're coming in wounded. But again, I am going to have to take the Oregon Ducks to beat the Iona. So I got Oregon to beat Iona. Now the next matchup, the number 7 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, the Big Ten champions after yesterday's win over Wisconsin. Very, very good team against the number 10 seed, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. So, Michigan looks like a very depth team. They look good, very young. So I'm going to take Michigan to beat Oklahoma State. And now the number 2 seed in this Midwest division, the Louisville Cardinals, against the 15 seed Jacksonville State. Of course, Rick Pitino, Louisville, what else do you expect? So coming from me, I am going to take Louisville to beat Jacksonville State. Now the last bracket in this tournament, the South bracket. Of course, the number 1 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Why North Carolina? Of course, they have to, after what Duke beat them twice. Duke won four games in 4 nights to win the ACC, but of course you have to be the ACC you have to win the ACC championship, the regular season championship, and they gave it to North Carolina again. Duke fan, don't have a lot of love for North Carolina at all. Of course, they're the number 1 seed, and they'll play the 16 seed Texas Southern. I'll be blunt. North Carolina wins this matchup. Now, of course, the 8-9 matchup, the final 8-9 matchup in this bracket, of course, the Arkansas Razorbacks against the Seton Hall. Of course, I think I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one. Again, toss-ups. So I'm taking Arkansas to beat Seton Hall. Now, the next matchup, of course, the Minnesota Gophers against the number 12 seed Middle Tennessee State. I think if I can remember, last year Middle Tennessee State was the darling. And again, I think they can do it again. It's a 12-5 matchup. I am going to go with Middle Tennessee State to upset Minnesota. Now the next matchup, of course, the Butler Bulldogs, the number 4 seed against the number 13 seed Winthrop. Coming from me, I think I'm going to go with Butler on this one. I think Butler will beat Winthrop. Now the next matchup, of course, the Cincinnati Wildcats the number 6 seed against the last of the first 4 games. The winner, whoever wins out of Kansas State and Wake Forest, Kansas State Wildcats and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons will play with Cincy. But coming from me, I'm going to stick with Cincy to win whoever they play. So I'm taking Cincy to beat either Kansas State or Wake Forest. And now the number 3 seed, and maybe one of the 3 threats against North Carolina in this what I call Murderer's Row bracket for North Carolina to get to the Final Four. The UCLA Bruins, of course, playing against the Kent State, the Kent State Shockers, I think. I'm taking a Wildcats against Kent State. This one, I think, of course, UCLA is going to be a threat. UCLA is one of the 3 threats I can see dethroning UNC in this tournament. So I'm taking, of course, I got to go with UCLA. So I'm taking UCLA to beat Kent State. And now the 7-10 matchup, of course, the Dayton Flyers versus the Wichita State, what do you call it? The Wichita State Shockers. Again, if you're Kent State, if you go to Kent State, I'm sorry if I got it wrong on the name of your team. So, of course, Dayton, very good team, but again, Wichita State, darling team, and everybody remembers. I think a year, not this year, but the year after. Very undervalued by the selection committee. Very undervalued. Like, they shown they're a good team, and you have them at 10? Like, 10. So, coming from me, I got to go with Dayton Flyers in this one. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Wichita State gets it done again, because it's Wichita State, and they know how to beat high-level, like, big-time top seeds in the tournament. So, I'm going to take Dayton to beat Wichita State, but I wouldn't be surprised Wichita State wins. And then the last matchup of the first round, of course, the number 2 seed in this bracket and one of the top teams that can beat UNC, of course, the Kentucky Wildcats, playing against the 15 seed North Kentucky. So this one's an obvious. I am going to go with Kentucky to beat North Kentucky. Now we're into the second round. I know this is going to be a very long video, so again, bear with me. What do you call it? So we're into the second round I'm going to start at the second round in the East. Of course, I had the Villanova Wildcats, and I had Wisconsin. So Villanova against Wisconsin. I'm going to make these ones really quick. So I'm going to say Villanova Badgers. Villanova against Wisconsin. I got Villanova. UNCW, the 12 seed against the number 4 seed Florida. I got the Gators. SMU against Baylor, I got SMU. South Carolina and Duke, I got Duke. And now we're on to the West. The Zags against Northwestern. Sorry, Northwestern, I think that was the one win you're going to get. I got Gonzaga. Notre Dame and West Virginia, I got the Irish. Maryland and Florida Gulf Coast, I got Maryland, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida Gulf Coast wins. And in the last part, St. Mary's in Arizona, Arizona. Now in the Midwest, of course, I had Kansas, Miami, Kansas. Nevada, Purdue, I got Nevada. Rhode Island, Oregon, I got Rhode Island because injuries are going to catch up to Oregon. And Michigan and Louisville, I got Louisville. And now the last ones in the second round matches in the South. UNC and Arkansas, UNC. Middle Tennessee, Butler, Butler. UCLA, Cincy, UCLA, and Dayton, Kentucky, Kentucky. Now we're into the Sweet 16. Whoever wins these games head to the Elite 8. Villanova, and so I'm going to start again from the East. Villanova, Florida, Villanova. Duke, SMU, which would be a fantastic Elite Sweet 16 matchup. I got Duke. West, Zags, Notre Dame, Gonzaga. Maryland, Arizona, Arizona. Midwest, K-State, Kansas, Nevada, Kansas. Rhode Island, Louisville, Louisville. South, North Carolina, Butler, North Carolina against Butler, UNC. UCLA, Kentucky, which would be a fantastic matchup, Kentucky. Now we're into the Elite 8. Whoever wins is in the Final Four. And you'll know my Final Four right now. Nova, Duke, which would be classic. I got Villanova. West, Zags in Arizona, I have the Gonzaga. Kansas, Louisville, I got Kansas. in the Midwest. And the South, UNC, Kentucky. So my Final Four are Villanova in the East, Zags in the West, Kansas in the Midwest, and Kentucky in the South. So, of course, we're going to get to the Final Four. Final Four is going to be in Phoenix on April the 1st, which is WrestleMania, which, again, I'm doing this now so I don't have to make that pick during WrestleMania. Of course, Villanova, Gonzaga, I'm going to go with Villanova in that matchup. I think Villanova is going to be Villanova is like, they're a different team from last year. They're not the Cinderella team that got it done in the end. They're a team to be watched for. So I'm taking Villanova to head to the national championship. And now on the other side, Kansas, Kentucky, I've got Kentucky. Calipari knows how to get it done when it comes to the clutch. Bill Self's a great coach at Kansas, no doubt. But I got Calipari to beat Self. So my national championship, which is April the 3rd, of course from Phoenix, is Villanova versus Kentucky. And, of course, let me make my national championship pick right now. I think we're going to have a repeat champion. I think Villanova can get it done. I think Villanova will beat Kentucky and repeat as national champions. We haven't had a repeat national champion in a while, so it's long overdue. So my national champion this year in the 2017, my 2017 March Madness tournament predictions is the Villanova Wildcats. And those are my March Madness predictions. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this March Madness predictions. Comment below, who do you have in your Final Four? Who do you have? Which teams do you see upsetting which other teams? Again, let's have a conversation about it if you are college basketball fans like myself. And of course, again, I'm always on to see your comment. And of course, also reply to your comments. So, again, thank you very much for watching. And I hope. Of course, don't forget to hit that like button like only you guys can. Of course, comment and share it with your friends. And, of course, subscribe to the channel and become part of this Dangerous Alliance. And I will see you on March 27th for my 3 wrestling predictions. See ya!